Greetings and welcome back to the shop. Thanks for coming by the Car Doctor channel. I'm Tim. It's good to see you. So anyway, today we've got this 07 Escape on the rack for some front end issues. Customer stated that they had some collision damage about 6 or 8 months ago. It was a slippery road surface and they hit the snow berm, some ice or something, and took it to another shop where they installed the new lower control arm, and ever since it's been wearing abnormal wear on the inside edges of the tires, and especially the left front seems to visibly be cambered in and wearing that tire a little bit more. So anyhow, I threw it on the alignment rack this morning and found that the left front camber is actually a little bit negative here. You can see my meter. The spec is going to be about -1 is about the preferred angle on the left camber, and we're sitting at -1.6, which is just outside the minimum camber that's called for. And actually, after a little bit of inspection, I can't physically see where the strut is bent, but I've decided that it has, because even with the you can adjust the camber and bring it back by loosening the upper strut mounting bolts and rotating the strut mounting plate 180 degrees. Anyway, here's a little video of the process involved where you loosen all 4 strut mounting plate bolts, raise the suspension a little bit, raise the vehicle, and drop the suspension down, I guess, and then rotate that strut mounting plate 180 degrees, tighten it back down, and that should give you a little more positive camber. Well, in this case, that's already been done. So we've gone to the max on it, and we don't have the adjustment that we need. They've got it close, but no cigar. So basically at this point, I'm going to throw a couple new struts on it. And of course, and that's what this video is really about. You have some options as far as struts go, and being that the vehicle has 80,000 miles and up here, that's a few miles. Of course, you get plenty of miles on these cars, but as far as suspension component wear, 80,000 miles, you're gonna start having bushings drop out of these things. I've seen the lower control arms wear out, and so then you're looking at servicing the front struts. I usually would do mounting plates and strut assemblies, and I'm going to do it on both sides. I'm not going to just piecemeal it and do one side or whatnot. But in this video, I've made a decision to offer complete strut assemblies. So it's this one's actually a Monroe product, the Econo strut line, complete assembly with coil springs and new mounts and boots and bumpers and strut assembly. And so it's less labor, and it may be a more DIY friendly deal because you're not going to involve using a strut spring compressor, the need for that tool, or the safety factor involved in compressing a spring and then changing out the strut cartridge. So that's a plus for you as well. And in a shop scenario, that's additional labor charges involved in doing that. So you're not paying that additional labor, and you're getting more bang for your buck in this case. Since there is collision damage, I don't want the same mount, and certainly don't want the same strut. And if I'm replacing the whole assembly, it just makes more sense in this case. So it makes a great opportunity to do a video on replacing the entire strut assembly, which is what we're going to do. And so we'll get started by basically removing these upper strut mounting bolts on both sides of the front right here. And one thing to note, of course, you never want to undo the bolt running down the center unless you already have your strut mounted in a compression fixture and the spring compressed. Then you could do that. But on the new strut, and as well on these that are on the vehicle, you never loosen the bolt in the center, the nut, or you'll end up with a lot of spring flying at your head at about 500 miles an hour. And that's no fun. It'll ruin your whole day. And so we'll go ahead and pop these upper strut mounting bolts, 4 on each side, and then I'll go underneath and we're going to unload the suspension and drop the rest of the struts off the knuckles, and which will involve removing the tires. But this is a pretty quick job. I mean, book time's like 1.4 hours labor to R&R both front assemblies, and I'm sure it probably won't even take us that long. So thanks for coming by. Okay, now that I got the vehicle raised up a little bit and the suspension unloaded, I'm going to remove the wheel lug nuts. So basically we're going to need to remove the bracket that attaches ABS wiring, remove the little clip that attaches the brake caliper or flexible brake hose to the strut assembly, and we're also going to need to remove this, this is the biggest pain in the butt part, we're going to need to remove this sway bar end link, the upper mounting bolt. And basically what I'm going to do is clean these threads up the best I can and put a little penetrant on there, and we're going to try to get this loose. Sometimes these are a pain. Actually, this one has a little hex nut on the back side, so this isn't going to be as bad, but when they don't have little hex on the back side, you got to use a little Allen driver, and these are a pain. Then they seize up halfway through. So anyway, we're going to do that, and then we can get the strut off there. That's how easy it is. Take a wire brush, clean those threads up, a little brake clean, a little WD. Piece of cake. Okay, now we're going to remove the flexible brake hose mounting clip. Just a little retainer clip. I use a pair of dikes. Pull that off. And then we're going to remove that little ABS wiring retainer. Okay, now we just need to remove the 2 lower strut mounting bolts, and then we'll be cleared to drop that strut out of there. And this is an 18 millimeter. And there we go. Okay, so the entire assembly's out, and like I said, as long as you don't remove that, the strut assembly itself is going to contain the coil spring, and you can safely remove it without having it get loose on you. So anyway, like I had mentioned, I'm going with these Monroe Economatic units, and there is 2 different part numbers, one for the right and one for the left. Since I've showed the right front, we'll do that one first. That's part number 181593, and it's a complete unit. So I would make more money if I did this piecemeal and charged the customer for it. I get more labor, I would actually get more of a parts markup. But I feel like in this case it's a value-added service for my customer, and they're getting the complete unit, not only the strut assembly itself, but the little bushing, the bumpers, the boot, the coil spring, and the upper mounting plate, which you'd have to purchase that separately, and then the labor involved in changing it out is going to cost the customer more. So it works out good, especially in this case, and it's basically ready to go. So we're just going to go pop it in and get this thing back on the road. So one thing to mention is there is an arrow on the top of the mounting plate which points to the outside. There's also a notch there on the top of the mounting plate. So that's indexed for the factory position. And like I said before, if you move this eccentric 180, that will increase camber. And we're just going to put it at the base setting, and then also at the same time, the little saddle for the control arm will face out. And what I'm going to do is stick it up in the wheel well and install the new nuts first, so that my mounting plate is fully inserted into the fender well of the car. That way you're not lining that up afterwards. We'll just hand tighten the nuts. And then I'll come back down here and we'll reinstall the strut mounting bolts. Okay, I'm torquing the lower strut mounting bolts to 85 foot-pounds torque. And then we'll torque the upper nuts to 30 foot-pounds torque. Be sure to consult your repair manual for proper torque. There may be a torque difference depending on the model that you're working on. And again, this is a four-wheel drive model, which is about all we see up here is the four-wheel drive version of this car. Go ahead and reinstall the sway bar end link bolt. And reinstall my ABS wiring bracket. And finally, reattach the flexible brake hose with the little attaching clip. Secure that. All right, everything's tightened down here. You can go ahead and do the other side real quick, and then we'll move up top and secure that, and then we'll get on with the front end alignment. Make sure our angles. What? Okay, now it's time to find out if our repairs will cut the mustard, so to speak. So we're going to do a rollback measurement and a caster camber sweep and see how we did. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. So we'll do that and get this thing. There's also some toe-in issues in the back, but we're going to get this thing dialed in, and at least we know now that mechanically we're good to go in the front. I had adjusted the rear and front toe afterwards, and I'm pretty happy with those numbers, especially since this vehicle had been to 2 national chain alignment shops where repairs had been made and alignments done, and they shipped it out the door with that bad of an angle problem. It's kind of sad, but we got her straightened out, and this thing, you can go take it for a drive, but I guarantee you it's going to be just straight down the road, no more tire wear issues. And they're going to be happy they visited the car doctor. A couple things to note: always look at the brake hoses on these cars. I actually found one on the left front that was slightly cracked. There's serious problems with brake hoses on these cars. Every time you do any undercar work on these, take a look at the brake hoses. They're probably ready to go if they haven't been replaced. Also, when you replace the entire strut assemblies, your front ride height may be a little bit high until those new springs settle down a bit. That's normal and perfectly fine. So, but other than that, I think that pretty much wraps this successful repair up. We do appreciate you coming by. Thank you for subscribing to this awesome channel, and it's awesome because of you. We appreciate you, the viewers, and wish you good luck with your repairs. All right, now have a good one. Bye.